Hey guys, Jad here, and today I'm going to review the fourth and I guess the final film in the main vacation series, Vegas Vacation. Yeah, so I would consider this the last one in the main series because after this they did a TV movie called Christmas Vacation 2 Eddie's Island Adventure, and then after that they did the one with Ed Helms, which those you can consider more like reboots or spin-offs. I haven't seen either of those. I'm sure they're terrible, but yes. And this one is just called Vegas Vacation. It doesn't have National Lampoon in the title. And funnily enough, the Eddie's Island Adventure one that actually does have National Lampoon in its title. And I'd just like to quickly mention, in my review of the first vacation film, at the end I sort of hinted at something like I hadn't felt motivated to make reviews for a while because of somebody saying, like, people saying like really nasty things about me that aren't true, and saying that I'm best friends with this person who I'm not friends with at all. Apparently because I shared one post by a person, apparently that means I'm best friends with them and I condone all the awful things they did. I didn't know anything about that person. Um, but yeah, somebody commented on my Christmas vacation review mentioning this. I'm like, I prefer this person's videos. But I'd like to say I do feel a bit better about that now because I've watched some more rant videos on that person who said awful things about me. I'm glad to see other people feel the same way about that person. And he said other ridiculous things that like no reasonable person would ever take him seriously. So yeah, he's just a scumbag. And I'm definitely not friends with that foxy person who he thinks I'm best friends with. Yeah, so as for this movie, I rewatched it for this review. I'd only ever seen this one once before. The previous three films I'd seen multiple times, but this one I'd only ever watched once and didn't really like it. So I rewatched it for this review, and honestly, I still don't like this movie. I mean, I know there are some people who like all four of these movies. I've even heard some people say that they don't like European Vacation, but they like this one. And I completely respect if you do like this movie, but I just can't. I mean, first of all, this came out 8 years after the last film. There's a big gap, and you can clearly see that Chevy is a lot older, and I guess, and also Randy Quaid, you can see he's a lot older as well. And just like the opening credits of the first two movies, you had the Holiday Road song playing while it was showing like travel stuff. That was a really cool way to start the film. And the Christmas one, you start with this animation of Santa delivering presents, and you have the um, Christmas Vacation song, which is a really nice way to open the film as well. This one, you just have Clark driving around in the car, and you have the credits like in the style of like Las Vegas lights, which is fitting for the movie. And they're playing the song like "Good Vibrations" by the Beach Boys, which is a good song, but the credits just seem really lame compared to the opening credits of the previous films. So then, basically, when Clark gets into his house, he tells the family that they're planning on doing a vacation to stay in Las Vegas, and in this movie, it's the 20th anniversary of Clark and Ellen's wedding, and he wants them to go to Las Vegas to remarry again. And there is a joke about like Clark says like, "Oh, we barely see the kids anymore. It's like we don't even recognize you anymore." I think is that meant to be a reference to the fact that they keep changing the actors for the kids? I mean, I can get why some people might like that reference. I mean, I kind of felt like it was kind of a lame reference, but and later on there's a bit where they're in the car and they play the Holiday Road song, which it is a great song, but then they have Christy Brinkley in like a car next to them, who's in the first movie. And, it just seems like very much they're trying to recapture like the nostalgia for the first film. I mean, in the first three films, Clark Griswold is genuinely is one of my all-time favorite comedy characters. He was an absolutely awesome character in the first three films. This one, he's just not that good. I mean, Chevy just seems really lazy in the role, and also like Ellen, she was a great character in the previous films, but she's just not that good in this film, honestly. And cousin Eddie, I liked the character in the previous films. This one, he just seems annoying, and they just seem to overuse him because he was such a popular character in Christmas Vacation. And I'm sure that one Eddie's Island Adventure, I'm sure that's horrible because of too much cousin Eddie. Oh, and one thing I'll mention, when I reviewed European Vacation, I mentioned, because Eric Idle is in that film, I mentioned that I heard there were plans to have him in other vacation movies. I found out that apparently Eric Idle actually does reprise his role in the Eddie's Island Adventure one. But yeah, I think there was still talk of him returning it to the main series as well. But yeah. But cousin Eddie, when he first shows up, like he just happens to be staying in Vegas as well. And, he just shows up when Clark is playing cards, and he's like, he's just annoying. And then, like, when they meet him in like his caravan as well, like, hey Clark, hey. He's just annoying. And in Christmas one, like he was still very like endearing and funny and charming to the audience. He was, but Clark always like kind of found him annoying, but he was kind of holding it in. That was funny as well, and they try and do that in this, but it just seems like Chevy is really lazy with his performance, so it just doesn't really work in this film. Of course, the two kids are recast again, and this one at least they did make them a bit older, which makes sense because the other cast members look older. It's kind of weird in Christmas Vacation where Rusty was clearly much younger than he was in the previous film. But the two who play Audrey and Rusty in this are just not that interesting. And like, there's a bit where they're going like into Vegas, and Audrey is standing up, and she's out of the rooftop of the car, and then Clark closes that roof, and like she gets stuck in there, and she's saying, "Dad, help me, help me!" And it's like, how does he not realize? And it just goes on, and you're just watching it like, please, Clark, please just let her out. I mean, it's not like pleasant seeing her like being stuck there, and it's like, how does he not hear her screaming and saying like, help me get off this? With Randy Quaid as cousin Eddie, sometimes it seems like he's playing the character up a bit too much, where he's just so annoying. But then at other times it seems like he's just being really lazy with his performance as well. And all the time it is just not fun to watch. And there's a scene where they go on this tour of a dam, and Clark gets stuck behind because he's busy like trying to stop like water from coming out of this bit, and he ends up going to the wrong bit, and he ends up in this like electrical thing, and like, he's above the water and trying not to fall down, and then he like climbs up the dam, and the green screen in that scene is atrocious. I'm sorry, but that green screen just looks so fake. And you do also have Wayne Newton in this. He's playing himself, and he seems to come on to Ellen, and it seems like Ellen's starting to like talk to him more because her and Clark have a bit of a falling out because she thinks apparently he's not as much of a family man, with them going on this Vegas vacation. And I don't know much about Wayne Newton outside of this movie, but I just think in this movie he's a really bland character, and he's just not a very good actor in this movie, honestly. And they spend so much time on him as well, and that just makes it painful to watch. I mean, when they were dating each other, it's just so boring, honestly. I mean, I think this movie is honestly just boring. And at the end, Clark realizes that family vacations only work if the family are together and all that, and it's trying to be a heartwarming scene. I mean, I feel like the heartwarming scenes in the previous films worked a lot better, particularly in the first one and the Christmas one. I mean, this, I just didn't really feel anything, and the rest of the movie was just so boring, honestly, and just so not funny. As for some interesting actors who make appearances in this film, you do have Wallace Shawn as like the card dealer at the casino, and at the end you get a cameo from the comedian Sid Caesar when they go back and try and win their money back. And I guess those are interesting, but even they couldn't save this movie, honestly. So overall, I just did not enjoy Vegas Vacation. I didn't enjoy it when I first saw it, and I didn't enjoy it when I rewatched it for this review. But I will say, overall, I am a big fan of the Vacation series. I mean, I love these films. I mean, I like the first three films. And I even said in my review, I didn't think European Vacation was quite as good as the first one or the third one. But you know, I can still enjoy European Vacation. Unfortunately, Vegas Vacation I just can't enjoy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review slash rant. Thanks everyone for watching. What are your thoughts on this film? I respect if you like it. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and bye.